Anita, girl, get yourself together now. Now, I'm rolling with you with this dry ass book, but I'm not going to roll with you with this bullshit.
Hello, black hole. See this brother winning, man. Hey, look, what is your win, big? What is your win, big? What is your win, big?
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky is our ultimate animal print turban. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, will be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Anita Pointer and Fritz Pointer's Fairytale, the Pointer Sisters family. Ada was a producer for Don Cornelius' Soul Train. She had a friend, Gary Stromberg, who had been our press rep since the beginning. He was producing a new film called Car Wash. Ooh, one of my all-time favorites, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a cult classic. And if you ain't never seen Car Wash, I ain't talking about the one with the Dr. Dre in it and the Snoop Doggy. I'm talking about the original Car Wash. Sitting here, hey, in this chair, hey, waiting on you. Oh, baby, you see things my way. Oh, my goodness, that soundtrack was awesome. I think I was 5 years old when it came out, and my grandmother wasn't having it. My mother was a young mom, and one time my mother wanted to go out on a date with my Uncle Glenn. My grandmother said, take her with you. Take Nay with you. So I ended up going to see the movie with my mother while she was on a date with my Uncle Glenn. And then it was like 12 o'clock at night. This was in 1976. So I was five. And the cast would include Richard Pryor and be directed by Michael Schultz. One day when we were visiting Ada, Gary came by and I had heard about the film. So we just asked him, why don't you put us in the movie? The Pointer Sisters appeared as the Wilson sisters, 4 glamorous singers who accompanied the smooth-talking preacher. Here comes Daddy Rich with his mean limousine. Hey, people come from everywhere when he's on the scene. Clean can't describe the clothes he wears. He says, all you got to do is believe and you'll get your share. That's how it happens sometimes, you know. In the right place and being ready. We were in the right place and we were beyond ready. Filming was so much fun. Oh my God. Working with Richard Pryor, he was so excited. He had the cast laughing all the time. If Anita don't give us something in this book, girl, I'm going to have to DM your ass on Instagram and tell you, girl, you ain't going to give no tea. Obviously not, because we almost done with the damn book and the bitch still ain't give us nothing. Making that movie was one of the best experiences of my career. Acting, singing, and doing that movie with Michael Schultz, the director. Most of the cast were young and eager, just like us. Along with Richard Pryor, there was Bill Duke, George Carlin, Antonio Fargas, Garrett Morris, and Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito? Which version was I looking at? It did have Danny DeVito in it, but do they cut his part out or something? I forget, like every time I watch the movie, even when I buy the movie, I can't find, damn, I do remember Danny DeVito, but why is that? Did they adjust the movie? Anyway, what have I I done to you to make you mean and treat me, hey, the way you do? Go on and wave your hands, brother. Start your revolution. I'm willing. It was an electric cast of young, edgy Hollywood actors, and we were all just excited to be there. We had such a good time partying one night that we didn't even go to sleep. Then we got a call the next morning that they needed to film some close-ups. Luckily, we were young back then because after a hard night, we had to get not just camera ready, but close-up ready. I had no idea if the movie was going to be successful or not. You got to believe something. Hey! Why not believe in me? I have no idea if the movie was going to be successful or not. There were a lot of movies of that genre of blaxploitation films, so it was definitely on trend with what was going on in movies with titles like Foxy Brown and Cooley High. Hold on, Anita, girl. Hold the fuck on. Those are two different brands of movies. You got that fucked up, Nita. Because what Cooley High was nowhere near what a blaxploitation movie was. Cooley High was actually that. Now that was a cult classic too. That was basically the cult classic for Black American young people at the time. You got that fucked up, Anita. Don't put Cooley High in that blaxploitation bullshit. That was a true life story of a man who lost his best friend during high school over there in Chicago. Anita, girl, get yourself together now. Now, I'm rolling with you with this dry-ass book, but I'm not going to roll with you with this bullshit. Remember, this book club is also about reviews and not just recaps. So she was lunching with that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Because Cooley High is not a blaxploitation. She got that fucked up. Y'all can correct me in the comments because you know how you bitches do. I wasn't thinking about whether it would be a big hit. I just thought it was a good career move for us, and I found out quickly that exposure was always good for our business. Of course, the movie was a big hit and has gained a large following, even though it was filmed back in 1976. We were only in the entire movie for about 7 minutes, mainly stepping out of a gold stretch limo with Richard when he drove up to the car wash to share the gospel. We were his entourage. Ooh, wop, to rat-a-tat, boom. Just a few years ago, I was in Los Angeles, actually getting my car washed. And who did I run into but my car wash co-star Bill Duke. We both had a good laugh about the coincidence and caught up on old times. Now let me say this about the Wilson sisters. You know, I was too young to understand it then, but we understand it now. Okay? First of all, you know that Daddy Rich's character was a preacher. I went to Daddy Rich's church last Sunday. It was wall-to-wall people there, standing room only. We know that preachers have a tendency of being called pimps, okay? Because what they do is take advantage of the weaknesses of women, the mental weaknesses, the physical weaknesses, you know, and they give them something to believe in, which is me. If I wasn't a Christian man, I'd be kicking your ass, brother. Well, then drop on down. I'm going to drop on down. I'm going to drop on down with a bit of light. And I didn't see till much later and when I was much older when Bill Duke's character said that he sounded like a pimp. I didn't realize that he was calling the Wilson sisters his hoes, when in actuality, that is what they were. Okay? Now, they might not have been selling vagina on the car wash property. Oh, but I'm sure if Daddy Rich needed them girls to, you know, go in the back room with Elder Gatsby, they would go. I didn't get the full picture of it until in recent years of the power that Daddy Rich had. Now, back home in D.C., child, listen, I don't want no problems from you niggas, but I'm about to say the truth, okay? We got a Daddy Rich back home, and his Daddy Grace. Okay? I remember my mama telling me about Daddy Grace. Woo! Oh, I ain't saying nothing about them people. I don't want none of you, delusional bitches trying to chop me in the back of my neck. But we all know that Daddy Grace is something vicious back home. Around there in the Shore District, the movie worked well into our overall career because we were really getting attention. We were constantly in demand for more TV show appearances. We had a new record and we were always touring because live shows were where we always shined. The song from Car Wash, You Gotta Believe, made the R&B Top 20 in 1977. And we had originally hoped to perform the title song, Car Wash. That honor went to the group Rolls Royce. Although during the recording session, we were told they were asked to sing it like the Pointer Sisters. Following Car Wash, we had to head back into the studio to record our 5th album called Having a Party, which came out in 1977. This time we worked with David Rubinson to create a more contemporary R&B and funk album, still using our harmonies but with less of the retro songs. June only sang on the title song, not any of the other material. That was not the only difficulty we had. We worked hard on the record and did a lot of writing with the hope that it would reach a new audience. Ultimately, there were only 7 tracks. Unfortunately, Blue Thumb Records, which had been purchased by ABC Dunhill in late 1974, was practically non-existent. The album ended up being delayed, which meant it did not come out until a year and a half after our last album, Steppin'. That was not good for us. I was worried that we were losing the career momentum we had worked so hard to build. Having a Party didn't chart any hit singles and was soon forgotten. The only bright note was that Don't It Drive You Crazy, with Bonnie singing lead, became a cult hit in the UK. In 1976, Mother's intuition sensed the tension and malaise brewing within our group. November 1977 began a series of lasts for the Pointer Sisters in many ways. Having a Party would be the last album to feature Bonnie as a member of the group, the last album to feature David Rubinson as our producer, and the last album we recorded for Blue Thumb. The professional relationship seemed to have run its course after the last album produced no major hits, nor had strong sales. Bonnie and June were dead set on leaving David and finding new management. We weren't making the money that all of us felt we should be making. We all agreed on that point. However, I was the only one who went to all the business meetings and helped with the banking and contracts. How can the girls complain about how much money they're making or not making when they are not present to stand up for themselves? You're only sending one person in to speak for all the members of the group. I tried to explain that we weren't making the money because of the agreement we had made. So it wasn't necessarily David's fault. Facts. I thought we should renegotiate with him and work out a better arrangement instead of totally changing managers and starting over. That's when Bonnie and June even accused me of being somehow responsible for the lack of funds. How is it my fault? How's it my fault? You bitches could have came to the meetings. How's it my fault? You could have spoke up for yourself. That's when Bonnie and June even accused me of being somehow responsible for the lack of funds. We all knew that we were famous but nearly broke. That was not a good look because, of course, people expected us to be doing well, and we just weren't. One of the reasons for our lack of income was that David wanted the best musicians possible for us, which we appreciated. We just didn't realize that paying them meant little money for us. We were working like crazy, but the financial rewards were non-existent. It was now our responsibility to not only keep our career going, but to see just how far we could go. The impeding issue was internal. Bonnie wanted to leave the group, and June's health was fragile. We had already proved that we could perform as a trio if necessary. And we did many times. I could accept that as our reality. But if we didn't have June, things would be much more difficult. Already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves you babies. Have a good one.